Hey, this is going to be 2019's book battle. So I have discovered that I like doing these videos as kind of a little time capsule of that year's reading. So I've just gone back to my 2019 list of books that I read from Goodreads, and I've put them in my little jar once again. So we've got these little papers. 2019 was a couple of years into getting back into reading, so I wasn't reading quite as much as I do now, but a little stack in there. So we're gonna do the book battle. I'm not gonna tell you guys the rules because if you watch the other videos in this playlist, you will figure it out. So by the end of the video, we'll see who comes out on top. So randomly picking. Now I know a lot of these because they're a few years back. Mark of the Raven and Blueberries for Sal. Okay, Mark of the Raven. A lot of these I'm going to have to look up on Goodreads to see what I thought of them, or to even refresh my mind about what the book is about, because it was a few years ago. Fish Girl and As Old as Time, As Old as Time. And I like to go through these pretty quickly. The Girl from the Other Side, book 1, and Julie of the Wolves. Girl from the Other Side. What do we got? Royal Assassin. See, 2019 was a good year. I found some good, seriously. Mark of the Raven on my favorite shelf. Girl from the Other Side on my favorite shelf. Royal Assassin on my favorite shelf. 2019 was a good year. So Royal Assassin or Leaf. Royal Assassin. Winter's Promise and Pride and Prejudice, the graphic novel. Winter's Promise. Danger in the Shadows, also on my favorite shelf, and Where the Fire Falls. So Danger in the Shadows. That was not a first time read, that was a reread. Bread and Wine and Jane the Fox and Me. Probably Bread and Wine. Jane the Fox and Me is a graphic novel. Bread and Wine is a Christian nonfiction. Assassin's Apprentice, also my favorite shelf, and Explorer. Assassin's Apprentice, oh boy. I'm loading up some really heavy hitters here, which is fun, but they're gonna go against each other next round. So To Kill a Mockingbird and Flight of the Raven. Flight of the Raven, also my favorite shelf, you guys. Whoa, 2019 was Jurassic Park and Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, also my favorite shelf. What? 2019 was it. Where's Halmoni and The Girl from the Other Side, book 2. That one's harder because I love both of these. I really love Where's Halmoni, and it will probably go on my favorite shelf if I ever purchase it, but I have to give it to Girl from the Other Side. So we've got The Negotiator and Eyes Wide Open. Eyes Wide Open. I don't really remember The Negotiator. I know it's an O'Malley book, but Tainted, also my favorite shelf, and A Rumored Fortune. Tainted. Fellowship of the Ring, you guys. That's some Tolkien here, and Hit the Ground Running. Fellowship of the Ring, which I'm currently rereading that book. Oh, how fun is that? Okay. Legend of Holly Claus and Girl Wash Your Face. Holly Claus. I saw that one at the thrift store one time before I had read it, and now I regret not buying it. The Girl from the Other Side, book 4, and Princess Spy. Princess Spy is Melanie Dickerson, so technically on my favorite shelf. I can't recall if it was actually one of my favorites of hers. Let me just have a quick peek. I'm gonna go with Girl from the Other Side. Fierce Fairy Tales and Nimona. Okay, I feel quite similarly about these two. A lot of good with a some negative. So I guess probably Nimona. I have not read or watched the new movie based on the book Nimona. Girl in the Himalayas. I did a lot more graphic novels this year. And You and Me Forever. You and Me Forever, also my favorite shelf. What? I did not. I wrote all these down, but it did not click to me that most of these were on my favorite shelf. Fox! And Wild Robot. Actually, both of those are on my favorite shelf, but we're gonna go with Fox. Ember's End. Seriously? Also on my favorite shelf. What is happening? And If You Find Me. Ember's End. Pumpkinheads. And Ringmaster's Wife. Oh. Ringmaster's Wife. What do we got here? This Present Darkness. Also on my favorite shelf. And Wires and Nerve. This Present Darkness. Awakened, which would be on my favorite shelf if I owned it. And A Man Called Uva. Probably Awakened. Blue Like Jazz and Mira. We're going with Mira. Window Horses and Lost at Sea. These are, one was a poetry book and one is a graphic novel. I'm going to have to, I remember Window Horses a bit more, but Lost at Sea I kind of forget. So why don't we just go ahead and see what I rated it. Oh, I did not like Lost at Sea. Right. So Window Horses it is. That's like the first one over here that I'm like, about. So we got Sheets and The Girl from the Other Side, book 6. I really liked Sheets. The illustrations are so great. But we're gonna go Girl from the Other Side. Girl from the Other Side, book 3, and Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So we'll go with The Girl from the Other Side. Even though I didn't mind The Christmas Carol. Screwtape Letters, also on my favorite shelf. And Scythe, also on my, what in the world? Like, I am genuinely flabbergasted. I do not know how this did not click when I wrote stuff down. I love them both. Screwtape Letters. We've got Mere Christianity, also on my favorite shelf. And Illusionist Apprentice. I love Illusionist Apprentice. But Mere Christianity. We've got Box and Into Deep. I'm meh on both of these, but we'll go with Into Deep. This has taken me for a ride, you guys. The Hobbit and Road to Paradise. The Hobbit, obviously. Beneath the Surface and Enola Holmes, a graphic novel. We're gonna go with Enola Holmes, actually. I think that's one of the only graphic novels that made it up there. The Bridge and Three Dark Crowns. I'm gonna go with Three Dark Crowns. I do want to do a reread of that one. Shadow Island and Thunderhead. Even though I love Shadow Island. That's actually a hard one. The last two, Simon's Cat and Love Does. I did not like Love Does, so Simon's Cat. Let's put them back in. I'm quite shooketh, but now lots of these are my favorites, so it's like gonna be a favorites against favorites battle. This took a turn I did not expect, which is stupid because I wrote all of these down. Anyway, we won't dwell on that. Mere Christianity and Mark of the Raven. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be hard. Mark of the Raven. C.S. Lewis. This Present Darkness and Three Dark Crowns. I'm gonna go with This Present Darkness, even though I really want to reread Three Dark Crowns. The Girl from the Other Side, book 1, with You and Me Forever. You and Me Forever. I think this might be the round where The Girl from the Other Side doesn't make it a bunch. Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and Eyes Wide Open. Evelyn Hardcastle. Enola Holmes versus Fellowship of the Ring. Fellowship of the Ring. Awakened versus Royal Assassin. Royal Assassin? Yeah. Screwtape Letters versus The Girl from the Other Side. Book 2. Screwtape Letters. Assassin's Apprentice versus The Girl from the Other Side. Book 4. Assassin's Apprentice. Winter's Promise versus Window Horses. Oh, again, Winter's Promise for sure, but still, like, The Girl from the Other Side, book 6, and The Girl from the Other Side, book 3. I don't really remember exactly what happens in each book, so this is just gonna be a wing it. I guess we'll go with book 3. I don't really remember what happens in each book, but Legend of Holly Claus and Bread and Wine. We'll go with Holly Claus. Flight of the Raven and As Old as Time. Flight of the Raven. Nimona versus Danger in the Shadows. Danger in the Shadows. Into Deep versus Simon's Cat. I guess Into Deep. It wasn't a favorite or anything. Ringmaster's Wife versus Ember's End. I guess Ringmaster's Wife. Mira versus Fox. Fox. Tainted versus The Hobbit. The Hobbit. And then we just have one left, and it is Thunderhead. We've got Flight of the Raven versus Holly Claus. Flight of the Raven. Evelyn Hardcastle versus Winter's Promise. Evelyn Hardcastle. Royal Assassin versus Mark of the Raven. Mark of the Raven. Assassin's Apprentice versus Into Deep. Oh, easy. Assassin's Apprentice for sure. Fellowship of the Ring versus Ringmaster's Wife. Fellowship. The Girl from the Other Side, book 3 versus Danger in the Shadows. Danger in the Shadows. The Hobbit versus This Present Darkness. The Hobbit. I think we all know The Hobbit's gonna make it to the end. Okay, so we've got Thunderhead and Screwtape Letters. Screwtape Letters. And then we have 2 more. Fox and You and Me Forever. Fox. I think it's gonna be Nadine Brandes versus Morgan L. Bussey. Obviously The Hobbit, but what do we got? Fellowship of the Ring versus Assassin's Apprentice. I love Assassin's Apprentice, but I have to give it to Tolkien. He's just a master. Mark of the Raven versus Flight of the Raven. That's not nice, but Mark of the Raven. Mark of the Raven is book 1, and Flight of the Raven is book 2. Evelyn Hardcastle versus Screwtape Letters. Also not nice. Evelyn Hardcastle? The Hobbit versus Danger in the Shadows. The Hobbit. And then the last one, Fox. Why is Fox always at the bottom? Okay. I do believe this is the last round, folks. Okay, so we've got Fox and Evelyn Hardcastle. Fox. Mark of the Raven and The Hobbit. The Hobbit. And then the last one, Fellowship of the Ring. Okay. Those are our 3, you guys. The Hobbit, Fellowship of the Ring, and Fox. So that's cool. 2019 was apparently an incredible year. I just never realized it. So yay for some awesome reads. Definitely loaded up my favorite shelf. Without 2019, this favorite shelf would be a lot more empty. But that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this kind of video because there will be a few more coming out to supplement the rest of the years. And I will be doing this going forward because I just love this. But go ahead and watch the rest of the playlist. And yeah, let's chat books in the comments below. And let me know if you can remember, what were you reading in 2019? And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!